Hey guys, Valkyrie here and welcome to Seduce Me, Matthew's Route, and we left off at Malik's pointing a gun and shooting it at Sam. So yeah, here we go. We all gasped in shock, instantly expecting to see a bullet run through Sam's face, but...
What the fuck?
What?
What should have been a headshot ended with a loud but empty blank shot. The pistol echoes at empty shot as the man grew more and more pissed, pulling the trigger over and over again in aggravation. Luckily for my ears, it became quieter after the first shot.
Why the fuck won't you work?
This place is protected.
What did you say, Shrimp?
This place has a seal, protecting it from hellborn magic.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Ah!
The man growled and threw his gun at Sam, who was able to dodge it in time. The pistol bounced off the ground a couple of times before sliding further away, hitting the wall in a final stop. As it stopped moving, the gun faded into a black flame that disappeared into the air.
The previous owner had this place protected by magic, Malix.
Malix, that was his name. His existence resonated in my memory from the dream I had. However, I looked to Matthew in the same confusion as Malix did. This place is protected by magic?
It would seem that your grandfather had some sort of protective barrier around this house. From the looks of it, it only disables hellborn magic.
Malix's face grew into that of extreme anger, his fist tightening as if he was crushing a stress ball.
Then what's stopping me from dragging your asses out and shooting you then?
Out of pure instinct, I stepped forward and placed myself between Malix and the boys. With no power, Malix wasn't going to fight. I took that chance to stand up to him instead of being powerless like I was in the dream. Get the fuck out. Fuck off. Malix suddenly laughed while staring at me in disbelief.
Whoa! Who let the bitch out of her cage? What is this? A reverse harem or something?
Malix grinned at me evilly, walking closer to me. Duck. I ducked underneath Malix's incoming hand, and I stared at his hand and his black flame tattoo in surprise. As I took a couple of steps back from Malix, Matthew and Damien stepped forward in front of me, guarding me from Malix with their arms.
A quick one. I'm liking you more and more.
Back off, Malix!
Don't start acting tough, you pathetic excuse of a demon. You need more protection than her.
Shut up!
Oh, did I make the little Matthew cry? Why don't you just grow a pair?
Enough, Malix.
The woman, who had been standing in silence the entire time, planted a firm hand on Malix's shoulder. Malix had looked back at her with a growling glare that could kill.
Since when did you get the guts to speak out of place?
We both know you've never controlled me. I want them dead just like you do. But now's not the time.
Fuck off! I know what I'm doing.
Do you? Even if you did fight them, there's 5 against 2. We never win.
Shut up!
Let's go, Malix! We're wasting our time!
The two growled at each other. If they could have used their magic, I would sense that the fire would be glowing from underneath their teeth. Malix grunted and glared at the boys. He pointed at James, wanted so badly to use his fingers like a knife.
Just wait, pretty boys. We'll get you and fuck you up real good.
That bloody laugh. Then Malix turned to me, moving his fingers to point directly between my eyes.
And don't think you're safe. Step outside. I dare you.
With that, Malix and the woman walked out the mansion. The doors closed behind them, leaving the boys and I alone once again. I felt my knees give out from underneath me, forcing the boys to quickly turn to catch me.
Whoa! Are you alright?
Yeah, why was he here?
He's been closely tracking us. Our blood trail from the forest must have led him here.
We should have stopped him and finished it here.
For once, Matthew, I agree with you.
I stood up and rubbed my arms, feeling the goosebumps Malix left behind on me. I couldn't stop myself from shivering in fear of his words. Malix, was he a demon?
That son of a bitch is not a demon. He's a devil.
A devil? There's a difference?
Yes. Demons come from a different plane of existence called the Abyssal Planes. Devils, however, come from one of the 7 circles of a place humans know. It's hell. Despite us not being human, we are very different creatures.
We actually have brains, for one. Devils always like to cause trouble and try to kill or torture others for their own enjoyment. Demons, like us, know when to use our powers and when not to. We're not stupid.
Devils follow orders from higher-ups in their order, and their power only comes from their connection to hell. Demons all have free wills and don't rely on where they came from to use their powers.
This was also confusing. Demons and devils and magic all existed, and I happened to land in the middle of it. What do we do?
You're safe. You've been protected as well.
What?
What Damien's saying is that the magic that protects this place also protects you.
Your grandfather must have cast it when you last saw him or something of that nature. We can sense its aura around your body.
I couldn't believe my ears. It was the third day of surprises, and this one took the cake of being the most surprising. I felt my head spin once again. What did I get myself into?
Miss, please don't worry. We'll find a way to train ourselves and become stronger to finally finish this feud.
I'm gonna kick his ass right now!
Until then, we'll protect you as much as we can. If Malix comes back, we'll be here for you.
But what about going outside? Won't he?
Like we said, you have a protection spell on you. Even if Malix attacks you, he won't be able to use his magic on you. He'd be just like any other human you can fight back against.
Didn't you say you knew Taekwondo?
Well, yeah. I felt somewhat relieved that I could mostly suffer from Malix. Still, I could not help but feel very nervous and apprehensive about the future. The boys were safe here to train and become stronger, but what if Malix did the same? Even more so, I was lost about how my grandfather knew about magic. I had to find out. At least, I had time. I went to bed that night feeling nervous. I felt target of something I had never been able to explain or prove. Magic, devils, demons? How did this all even happen? Should I really meddle with this situation? They're only staying until after they defeat Malix. That's right, they said they'd only stay until after they defeated Malix. After that, my life could go back to normal. Temporary insanity, as Kay would say. The question was then, would I want them to leave? If my life went back to normal, then I'd have to care for the house on my own. I'd get to focus on my life instead of being distracted by the boys. I'd have to. My life. Where is my life going anyway? I was under pressure from my parents, with only my friends and the boys to comfort me. Without the boys, I'd have nowhere to hide from my responsibilities. Enough. Let's just sleep and deal with it tomorrow when it comes. Defeating my sense of thought, I forced myself to sleep unsure of what tomorrow had planned for me. Hopefully, whatever the future had for me, I would be ready for it.
I promise to be with you forever. You're so important to me.
I swear I'll give my life to you.
Please, let me love you.
I'll be by your side, always.
I can't imagine living without you.
I want to be with you.
I love you.
I slowly opened my eyes, letting the voices of my dream echo in my head and force me awake. I rubbed my eyes before sitting up and looking at my clock. 7 a.m? Why am I up so early? I fell back onto the bed and closed my eyes, trying to get back to sleep. However, something kept me awake. Why? It's too early to even be alive. I gave up and sat up. Staring at the fireplace across from my bed, a sigh escaped between my lips before I threw my legs over the side of the bed. What to do at 7 a.m. in the morning? Let's explore the house. I decided it was a good idea to wander around the house. I really never explored it much as a child, so there was bound to be new surprises. Well, come on, feet, let's go on an adventure. I stood up and exited my room, hoping that the boys were still asleep. I began to wander the halls of my end of the house, opening each door to find out which room had. Quickly I found an old office. A desk and a chair sat by the far side as a large bookshelf with documents and memorable donated nooks and crannies. There were a couple of pictures of me growing up peeking from the shelf as I walked further into the room. I don't believe I've been in here before. I tried to recall memories of ever seeing this room, coming up with nothing as a result. This room was new to me. Did I want to disturb the furniture? I'm curious. I gently opened the shelves and looked at any drawers I saw in the room, and a couple of them were books, and even a sewing kits. I assumed that they were used with my grandfather's toys, so I left them alone. One drawer, however, was locked, no matter how many times I pulled. Greer, come on, open! Nothing. It would not budge. The drawer beside it, though, did, revealing a laptop. Why is there a laptop in a drawer? I lifted it from the drawer and carried it over to the desk, and the chair opening it. It was a high-tech laptop with a retina scanner as a pass lock. I was not sure whether or not to try and lock it. Decided to try. I turned on the computer and laid my face near the retina scanner, lining up the camera with my eye. To my surprise, I had a ping on the computer before the screen opened to the desktop. Huh? Look at that! On the desktop were documents and folders labelled with the different aspects of the Anderson Company toys, taxes, profits, bylaws, products. The list went on and on. If I really did want to become the CEO of Anderson Toy Company, I had everything about it at my fingertips. Dad would be impressed. One icon, however, stood out from the rest. Vogue? I double-clicked the icon, but no window came up. Instead, I heard a large click come from the drawer that was locked. What the? I slowly left my seat and walked over to the drawer, attempting to open it again. It slid open smoothly in the direction of my pulling hand, revealing two books. One was a plain black journal with a tie to keep it closed. The other was a bound in leather with cryptic symbols all over the cover. I looked at the journal and skimmed through it, seeing my grandfather's notes. They were all detailed explanations of opinions of findings on demon magic. He really did know about magic. I sat down at the desk and read through the journal further, finding drawings and sketches of symbols and magic circles, each with their own different meanings and effects. It was all fascinating. There was even a page on the more important spells to know. I read through them, trying to memorize them in my head. I didn't know what came over me, but I started to feel more energetic and powerful simply reading my grandfather's notes. I was suddenly aware of the energy that surrounded my body and the power that was around the house. The more I read, the more powerful I became. However, my mind suddenly froze and I found myself walking back to the drawer, putting the book back and closing the drawer. The lock reset and I snapped out of it. Huh? What? I shook my head and looked at the drawer, realizing what I had done. I walked over to the desk to reopen the lock, but suddenly felt the need to stop. Something held me back and I didn't want to pry any more than I already had. I was curious beyond belief, but I obeyed my thoughts for now. Eventually I would come back to look at it. I returned to bed feeling the weight of the morning drag me under the covers to try and sleep again. I had energy, but I wanted more sleep. It was Sunday and nothing was going to happen today. Come on, eyes, back to sleep. I shut my eyes and tried to slow my breathing. I looked at my phone to check the time again. It was noon, yet it felt like I had slept for much longer. Why is time going so slowly? I sighed and got changed into normal clothes. I went out to the main hallway and sat on the stairs. Sundays were always boring. However, the muffled sounds of battle caught my attention. Huh? I quickly went out to the backyard in response to the noise I heard. In the yard were all 5 boys practicing fighting. Sam was in the middle, with the other 4 surrounding him and throwing punches and kicks at him. Sam, being the strongest of the bunch, blocked and dodged each also masterfully. Don't disturb them. I just watched. The boys were very much into their own world, focusing on the training they were all in. It was better not to disturb them. I checked the time and decided to head and start the kitchen. I was getting hungry and I'm sure the boys would need something to eat soon. So, lunch was a must. Might as well make lunch today. It's been a while since I cooked. Lunch was practically wasn't hard. I decided to make chicken rice. Gotta keep their energy and strength up with protein. I took my time to make almost perfect chicken breasts alongside some rice. Cooking wasn't hard unless you didn't know what you were doing in the first place. I placed the food in the dining room, however none of the boys were there. By the time I brought the final dish out, I carried the dish to the main lobby, catching the boys separating into different rooms in the house. Part of me wanted to go into one in particular. The other part of me wanted to just leave them be and take the food in my hand to my room and eat. Maybe I could go out today while the boys focus on training. Go find one of the incubi. I quickly rushed back and grabbed the second food dish before hunting down one of the boys. I looked down each hall trying to find one, the incubi, wondering so that I wouldn't have to go through each individual room finding them. I pursed my lips in irritation. Where the heck are they? I sighed, knowing that I would have to search for them in each room. I quickly turned and headed back to the dining room. One last time. When I arrived, I gasped. Matthew was crouched near the kitchen doorway, peering into it as if a rat had gotten loose in the pantry, and he was stalking the exterminator. Matthew? I quickly shut my mouth and pressed my lips together in silence, confused but fearful as to why I had to be quiet. I tiptoed to Matthew, who was crouching by the entrance to the kitchen. His gaze and head moved across to the side of the kitchen, still trying to find whatever he was looking for.
Sit there.
What? Matthew's face was seriously fearful and intense. Who was freaking him out this much? My mind, however, instantly pinned the person down in my conclusion. Malix. Alex, why did he come back, and why was he in my kitchen? I started to freak out, remembering the fear I had felt the last time we had met him. However, I wasn't sure. Where was the others if it was
I lost
Alex?
sight of him, but I quickly found him and cornered him in there. I know he's in there.
Who's in there?
Fluffy killer thing.
Fluffy killer thing? I bit my lips, suppressing a laugh. Once I swallowed my laughter down, I let out a sigh. You mean your cute bunny doll?
Yeah, that thing. Wait, it's not cute.
Matthew instantly regretted not whispering and covered his mouth, and I couldn't help but giggle. What's he doing in the kitchen? Matthew turned to me with an expression and utmost seriousness. Something told me that what he said would be cute and funny, but decided to bite my tongue gently not to laugh no matter what.
know.
I felt to keep hold of myself and started to giggle again. The thought of the doll doing anything but sitting there made me giggle. Matthew tried to hush me, waving his hands frantically to keep me quiet. Matthew, Simon's a doll. It can't do anything.
You named him?
Of course, Simon Tabby. Cute, isn't it? Matthew let out some sort of defeated whine before turning back to the kitchen, trying to find Simon from where he was. I placed our food on the table and looked as well. So what's your plan of attack?
Well, I plan to make my way through the kitchen as quietly as I can, and hopefully not get stabbed.
Sounds simple? Matthew nodded in agreement before finally moving from his spot and tiptoeing into the kitchen. I stood there unsure whether or not I should follow suit. Join the hunt. I didn't know why I was up for this, but I followed him along. A small adventurous side of me was very happy with the decision, but another side of me was questioning me, asking me why I did that. Matthew slowly walked through the kitchen, scanning the cupboards, the surfaces with a meticulously glare. It was both amusing and slightly frightening to see how serious he could be. Do all of your toys get out and try this?
No, it's just this one. I don't know why. All my other toys are okay.
Other toys? Matthew nodded, stopping his search to look at me.
That's what I do. Make toys. I made them for my mother all the time back in the Abyssal Plains, to help her cope with her position.
Her position?
She's the fourth wife of my birth father. Each of us have a different mother, and all of them, except for Damien's, are queens. My mom, though, hates sharing, so I distracted her with toys.
I didn't know what to say. A demon with multiple wives seems natural, but I guess because I was human, I felt the twinge of disgust run through my veins, nevertheless. Still, it was adorable how Matthew tried to cheer up his mum with his abilities. I was then suddenly reminded of my grandfather and how he made toys all the time for kids. Matthew's power had made small toys instantly would have been so useful to my grandfather. I shook my head and began to search for Simon again. Let's keep looking for Simon. Matthew nodded before joining in. I felt like I was in a comedy mystery, looking for a child's toy instead of a murder weapon.
Come on out, creepy thing.
Its name is Simon. Matthew ignored my statement and began to slowly open the cupboards. Shifting through inside the contents, I decided to follow suit, starting at the opposite end of the kitchen. Matthew, what do we do if we find him?
We stick him back in my pocket.
I looked at Matthew, waiting for him to finish replying. However, he kept his eyes to the ground, trying to answer my question and remaining in thought. I continued to search the cupboards, unsure now if this plan was going to go anywhere. Why was I even doing this? Simon Tabby was a... What the... Matthew and I scanned the kitchen frantically, searching for the source of the alarm.
I knew that thing was evil!
Suddenly, everything went black.
Ah!
Who turned out the lights? I gripped the nearby counter, not wanting to hit anything or fall into the darkness. There was no windows, so the room was completely pitch black. I could hear skittering across the floor like a rat rushing to escape with its cheese in its mouth. I instantly jumped in fear before suddenly being pushed to the ground.
Ah! Watch out!
I felt myself hit the ground with a body over top of me. 2 hands were slammed beside my head onto the floor, stopping the person above me from crushing me.
Hey, are you okay?
Matthew? Yeah, I stared up at Matthew, letting the situation sink in. We were looking for a doll, and now we were on the ground. What broke my thoughts was the flash of gold running across Matthew's eyes. I could feel heat radiate from his body, but the air was tense and his body was almost shaky. Matthew, are you okay? I heard him gulp, answering my question. He wasn't okay. I could tell, but he wasn't moving. Matthew?
Sorry.
Soon a golden glow covered Matthew's eyes. I expected to feel warmth in my body from an upcoming spell, But I felt nothing. Something was wrong.
I need you to... I need you to push me off.
For a second of his voice, he was desperate to get up and off me. Why couldn't he move, though? Then it hit me. Matthew, do you need energy?
I do. But
Matthew shut his eyes to try and hide his golden gaze from me. He didn't want to take my energy. Why? Was he ashamed to? Kiss him. If he needed energy, I was willing to give it. I gently grabbed Matthew's face and tilted his head to an angle with mine. Leaning in close to him, I brought my face and lips up to his and kissed him deeply. I didn't know if this would help, but it was how he got energy before. I shut my eyes, waiting for the draining feeling to appear in my body. Matthew didn't move, nor did I feel the energy drain from me. I opened my eyes and saw Matthew stare wide-eyed at me, but unmoving. He was unsure of what to do, and I had silenced him in confusion. I pulled away and spoke. I want to give you some of my energy. You used a lot of it, and I'm sure that energy you took from me was only used for healing. Let me help you.
I don't.
Matthew, if you don't want my energy, just tell me, but I'm offering it to you if you do. All of a sudden, I felt a familiar feeling of warmth through my body. Once again, I felt my body slightly heat up as Matthew wrapped an arm around me, my body, and pulled my body tight to his. Matthew grew a lustful gaze before bringing a hand up to cup the back of my neck. Before I knew it, Matthew pulled me into a gentle but passionate kiss. Heat erupted through my body as his kiss slowly and almost timidly got deeper. Matthew kept an arm around my waist while I rested my hands on his chest. The energy from my body was slowly draining into the kiss, making me feel light and warm. It was almost pitiful how comfortable and how willing I was in this situation. Still, I held no regrets. I was enjoying every bit of this kiss. Matthew was full of surprises. As childish as he was definitely proving to be a man while he was kissing me. Matthew wasn't forceful, but his kiss was deep and passionate, and it felt almost magical. It was how I imagined the first kiss to be like, except with the energy drain. Soon though, the energy drain stopped and Matthew gently pulled his face away to end the kiss. I stared up at him as we both panted for air. I had never kissed like that before, and I was so lost in the moment that I'd forgotten how to breathe. Matthew moved a strand of my hair from my face to behind my ears, eyes still full of desire. Matthew stared silently at me, unsure of what to say. However, I could tell that he was full, yet yearning. I could feel the hold of his mind-altering spell fade away, but I still felt hot. Something told me that I wanted more, but at the same time I wasn't sure if I truly did want to give a man more. Keep going, man. I opened the opportunity and was going to enjoy it as much as he was. I wanted more, and I was going to let him keep going. I wanted to keep going. I leaned up and kissed him again. Matthew gasped against my lips, but continued to kiss back. I could feel him pull on the trail of my bow, releasing it and following his hand off from around my neck. He moved the ribbon to his pocket before gently unbuttoning the top 2 buttons of my blouse. The desire in my body drove me insane, forcing a moan to escape my lips as he ran kisses from my lips down to my exposed necks. As he began to ravish my neck and shoulder in hot kisses, I leaned my head back and let a pleasurable sigh escape my lips. Matthew was ruthless in his passionate kisses on my skin. Matthew didn't stop touching me or kissing me, making more moans and gasps rush out of my mouth into the open air. He may have been full, but he was hot as I was. I couldn't even comprehend how much time we had spent making out. I was lost in the pleasure that I didn't care. Call it sinful, but I didn't care. I loved it. His touch, his kiss, his heat. I desired it beyond anything at that moment, even as he lowered his kisses down my chest, just above my bra. My heart was beating wildly in my chest. Something about Matthew intrigued me immensely, but something made my heart quicken for him. It couldn't have been love. It was too passionate to be lust. What was it? However, I began to feel dizzy, seeing the ceiling start to spin almost wildly. I gripped to Matthew's shoulders, trying to signal him to stop, but my mind faded to black before I could let out another sound. I felt good. I didn't care that I was blacked out. I felt warm and fuzzy in the darkness, and I never knew indulging in that kind of passion would be so good. I now just wanted to awaken, hopefully in a good way. My eyes eventually fluttered open, adjusting to the side around me. I felt familiar silks underneath me, letting me know that I was in my bed. I slowly sat up, stretching from the tiredness that still lingered. I felt a very soft pain on my neck and shoulders, and I could feel my swollen lips pulse gently in healing. However, when I looked down at my body, I saw that my shirt had been pulled back up and rebuttoned, as if nothing happened between me and Matthew. I was just missing my ribbon. Before I turned to get out of my bed, though, I spotted my ribbon on the pillow beside me, on the one I slept. It was tied around Simon Tebby in a nice bow with a small note attached to it. I gently slipped the note from the tie and opened it to read it.
I'm really, really, really sorry. I didn't mean for it to go that far. Please forgive me.
I stared at the note, letting a small smile grace my lips. He went too far? I enjoyed it a lot. It was cute, though, to imagine him thanking me for something we both did and enjoyed. I brought the note to my chest, letting the memories of our meeting flood my mind. I indulged myself too, Matthew. I looked at the time out of curiosity. The large white numbers on my phone showed 5:31 p.m. Yikes! 4 hours of being knocked out, and I still feel tired? It was Sunday, so I was allowed to sleep longer if I wanted to. The remainder of the night passed by, surprisingly uneventful. The boys continued to train with each other, but they were kind enough to stop and make me dinner, and I was glad for it. Unsurprisingly, the food was perfect, but it felt a little empty without the boys' date with me. They most likely had already eaten, but I still felt lonely. I couldn't help it, let it bother me. I ate and went back to my room to study and sleep. Surprisingly, I felt good going to bed that night. I felt like I could have peaceful sleep after the previous rough nights I've had. I felt good. I drifted to sleep and woke up almost flawlessly the next morning. No grogginess, no aches, perfectly energized and bright-eyed. Man, how long has it been since I got that much sleep? I looked at my alarm clock and I woke up 10 minutes before my alarm. Well, hey, I must be lucky today. Karma owed me so much luck. After all I had gone through in merely a handful of days, I deserve to get good luck. Ecstatic for the day ahead, I turned off my alarms before they could ring and got dressed. However, my phone started to quickly buzz for an incoming text. Huh? Who's texting me this early?
Yo, Anderson! You're carpooling with us from now on. We're not letting you waste your money on a bus. Get ready and be at your gate at 7 stat.
I smiled. My friends were the best. I couldn't drive yet, and I didn't have a car, so it was awesome that my friends would let me carpool. I checked the time. 6:30. Perfect. I can eat breakfast before they come. I packed my bag and carried it downstairs towards the kitchen. As I entered the dining room, I saw a plate with eggs, toast, and bacon sitting on the table. A fresh steaming cup of coffee sat next to the plate with sugar and cream on the side. I walked to the table and couldn't believe what I was seeing. Who made this? As I spoke aloud, a small red note caught my attention. Have a good day, yours. My heart skipped a beat as I finished. I could tell who it was from one of the boys. Maybe it was from him? I smiled before putting the note in my bag and eating up. The food was so delicious, I devoured every amazing bite. I looked to the time again. Time to go. I quickly rushed to the doors, checking myself in the passing mirror. I wasn't wanting to impress anyone, but I still needed to look decent. Before I could reach the door handle, however, someone took my hand. Huh? I turned to see Matthew, who was holding my hand back with a concerned look on his face.
My name.
Your name?
My true name isn't Matthew. I want you to know my real name. If something were to happen.
His true name? What did he mean? Why was he telling me this now? I remember reading about Demon's name from the journal. I read yesterday, if you knew a demon's true name, you could summon them to you no matter where you were, or where they were. Matthew gently pulled me to him and leaned close to whisper in my ear.
My name is Zekeru.
And on that note, I am going to end the video here. We have now known Matthew's real name, Zekeru. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Jane.